Today, I'm testing out something I've always been curious about. Can an AI make money for me via trading in 2025? I'm going to be putting Rockflow's AI trading assistant, Bobby, through its paces. We'll ask it to execute a trade, build a protection strategy, and we'll even try executing trades just with our voice. And as a quick disclaimer, obviously this is not financial advice, and the video is sponsored by Rockflow AI. However, if I see anything wrong, I will point it out, and I will be completely unbiased in my opinions. So what are Rockflow and Bobby? Rockflow is a licensed brokerage, and Bobby is their AI investment agent. And they claim this is the world's first integrated investment AI agent. To try out Bobby for yourself, you can download the Rockflow app, which will be linked in the description. Once you've done this, you can speak to Bobby almost like ChatGPT, either with your voice or prompting it with text commands, and it should be able to execute trades and do even more. Enough talking, let's showcase the app right now. So let's see if AI can build us a themed portfolio. I have a prepared prompt, which I'll paste in now, and we're going to ask it to build us an AI chips portfolio, so semiconductors and AI infrastructure, for $2, which Rockflow actually gives when you sign up. And let's scroll down. It gives us a nice chain of thought, which is very nice to see. You could do this with ChatGPT, it is worth saying. But look at that, that is very nice. So it actually gives you a backtest graph. And I will say this is really useful. So if we had this portfolio of 22% Nvidia, 18% AMD, we would have seen a 40% return in our money over the past year. That is very nice. Let's keep scrolling down. And we can actually then click the Create AI Portfolio button. Let me test that out. I'm going in completely blind. And it looks like we can click Auto Copy Portfolio. And we need to set up our transaction password, so I'll do that right now. Okay, so it turns out to use the auto copy feature, we actually need to deposit 500 USD, which I think is quite a lot to be able to actually deposit for the auto copy. If you're very serious about this kind of thing, then that makes sense. But for me personally, I would like to see smaller amounts allowed for this feature. Okay, so the copy trading might be a bit prohibitive, but next up, let's just try and buy an individual ETF or stock. So we'll search up Bitcoin and see if we can get a Bitcoin ETF. Let me see. Going into stocks. Okay, ProShares Ultra Bitcoin ETF. So I'm going to click on this, click trade, and then we can buy and sell regularly, but we can also do the Bobby buy and Bobby sell. So let's give that one a go. Clicking on this, it should redirect us over to the bots and actually fill in a prompt for us. So help me buy ProShares Ultra Bitcoin ETF per my trading habits. This is really nice. This is something you can't get on a regular large language model. And let's give that a second to work. So saying you want to buy ProShares Ultra Bitcoin, you asked for BITU but didn't specify the amount. So it's actually trying to use our available balance, which is only $2. And then it's figuring out how many shares we can actually get. And it looks like we can just click confirm order and hopefully this should work. Let me give it a shot. It's thinking for a second once again. And it says we have order confirmed. Let me click on order details and then hopefully our portfolio should reflect this. We just bought $1.70 of this ETF, which is very nice. And going over to my portfolio, okay, it looks like the trade is still pending, but we have actually placed that order. So that's a very quick way of performing your trading, and that's a definite bonus to using this as opposed to another non-AI platform. We tried buying stocks to make money, but what about buying things to mitigate our risk? We're going to try and make a protection trade, i.e. if our current investment goes down, can we still claw back some of that money with this protection? So we have on the screen, build a protection trade for number 1, my current holding, and 2, an Nvidia basket of stocks. Let's see if it recognizes that I actually bought that Bitcoin earlier. So protection trade for your current holding, and it says we have no holdings. That's probably because our transaction is still pending. But for the Nvidia basket, it actually shows us baby bear options. Aha, that's actually very smart. So we have a protective put, meaning if the stock suddenly tanks, then it will automatically sell our stock and we won't lose too much money. So that's also a very nice feature. I'm not advanced enough as a user to probably use that, but it is nice for the more advanced viewers. This is completely unscripted, but while I was exploring the app, I found this amazing AI strategy tab, and it looks like it's reading in headlines from the news and then based on that actually picking stocks which it recommends to capitalize on the latest news. For example, in the hot section, Alibaba's Hong Kong shares climb over 1% today against market trends, and it shows Alibaba has improved, and then it's asking us, or even suggesting for us to trade on that. Let's go to the strategy analysis tab as well, and it will give us a much more detailed breakdown which we can ask with further prompts. So this is really nice. This is where LLM technology really shines. It allows you to synthesize complex information and have it in a much more readable format that you can then question. So I really like this. I do think this is a real selling point for using this over another platform like, say, Trading 212. Finally, let's take a look at the application itself. We have this Explore tab, which is very nice. It shows you trends, it shows your watch list and hot stocks. This is very nice. I would say probably other apps are more mature, and the user interface is actually kind of small to read, as you can see with the text on screen. So I would say this gets a 7 out of 10. It is nice, but it could do with a bit more maturity and user interface attention. We've already seen the copy trading, the AI strategy, and we have this nice assets bit that shows us our profit and loss, our pending trades, copy records, etc. And then finally a settings tab. So overall, not a bad app, but it probably could do with a little bit of improvement. And then the last feature, which we haven't covered yet, is Bobby can do analysis on your current portfolio, and it can also look at your trading history and your profit and loss, which is very clever. We have not successfully executed our trade because it's still pending. However, we could ask, for example, I just bought Bitcoin, what do I buy next, to simulate that, and it will give us some suggestions. So can an AI trade for me in 2025? Overall, I was really impressed by Bobby's ability to make trades on behalf of me and analyze the news. These are all very useful and practical time saves. As for drawbacks, I do think the app's UI lags behind other trading platform providers, and also having to deposit $500 for the copy trading is very steep in my opinion. I genuinely think Bobby is worth trying out, so check out the link in the description and play around with the free money they give you. While an AI can't fully trade for you in 2025, it can automate the most boring parts of trading so you can focus on making money. I've been David Willis-Owen. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you enjoy this style of content, feel free to subscribe and like the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.